Hello, Robbie Fisher, Fools International Training Trustee and Education Chair with Fools International. And maybe my voice is familiar. I've got a bunch of the other Fools, e-board members, founders here with me today. We're at Fdic. I think what's fitting is the governor, when he stepped up there, he talked about how it's good to have Fdic back. And one of the things he says it's summer school, and because we're here in August and we're not normally here in August, we're usually here in April. The weather's been great. We're in shorts. It's 80 degrees.
No humidity.
No humidity. Everything's been perfect. So summer school's been pretty good here at Fdic. So a couple things that we're just going to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit about the Fools. We're going to talk about the Fools Bash that's going to be happening here in about an hour from now. We're going to talk about just how Fools are involved in Fdic. So it's good to be back. I'll turn it over to our Vice President, Bob Foss, and let him talk a little bit about the experience.
Sure. Vice President, Fools International, Bob Foss. So far, again, good experience. Got a chance to go to opening ceremonies this morning. Real good attendance. As usual, Bobby had everybody motivated and ready to go. Sounds like we got some good feedback from the hands-on trainings that went on earlier in the week. And again, looking forward to tonight's activities, and we'll talk to Billy a little bit about that as the Fools Bash, at the Brotherhood Bash. Really, that's open to everybody. And then tomorrow night's event as well at the Hampton. Again, things are going well. Convention currently is still on. Still, if you have not registered for convention, sign up for convention. By all means, would like more people to come out there. Just stand by for more details and information as things come about.
Yeah, if you guys saw it on Facebook Live, I'm assuming that they were playing opening ceremonies, but Bobby talked about purpose and just the need of purpose in our lives and how it, and of course, Bobby is a very passionate speaker, and he pulls quotes from people we don't even know. And this is great. We're adding in somebody we're going to be talking about a little bit later. We have founder emeritus, Mike Dugan. Welcome, Mike.
What's happening, boys?
Hey, brother. How you doing?
Well, good. How
So
we doing?
we're going to talk. It's perfect. You came right in because we're going to talk about the history of the Fools and how it kind of all got started. And we'll turn it over to the two founders at the end of the table and talk a little bit about it.
So Fools has a long history with Fdic. And if you don't know the history of Fools, we started out in 1995 in Central Florida, where 5 of us got together and we started coming to Fdic. Some of us came to Fdic, helped bring Fdic from Cincinnati to Indianapolis in 1995. So it kind of mixed, and as the years went on, we started having gatherings. I think I remember, Mike, I think you were there the first year we were in the basement of the Hampton. It was like I've been to basement fires that have been cooler than the heat that was coming out of there. There were just so many brothers and sisters out there, and come up the steps, and they were lined out the door and around the corner down the sidewalk. So it's kind of how the history started with Fdic, and really the promotion of the Fools and the growth exploded after that, and it's been going on strong since then. And again, Fools promote training, the brotherhood, and everything else, and that's kind of where when we started that, and we kind of goofed around, say we're going to have our first Fools Bash and everything, and we kind of ran out of beer and had too many people in there. Good thing the fire marshal didn't come by, and but it's been every year it gets better and better, and we get to see, we have more brothers and sisters coming into town. It's like old home week, and just as Robbie said, we're in summer school, which is kind of nice. Coming from Florida, I came up here to cool off. It's been beautiful. 2 good days of hands-on training, and we've got a rest of the week's going to be pretty good. And Mike, we got Mike here. He's getting a little award tomorrow, so we're pretty honored at that too.
Just a little one. So the key is, when we're talking about the history of the Fools, it starts in the basement at the Hampton Inn. Really is. Were you there, Mike?
Oh, I was there at the basement of the Hampton Inn. Absolutely. Absolutely. I took a feed. It was so hot in there. we had to hydrate, and that's when we didn't know about hydrate. We were drinking beer, and we ran out of beer, and we had to drink more water because it was so hot down there. There was so many people in there. It was wall to wall. But then we looked at each other and said, I think we're onto something here.
Yes.
I think we're onto something. We hit a nerve in the fire service, which we did.
Yep.
So were all the founders there that first, that basement, or all the founders at that one, or is?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they were coming,
I think the only one that wasn't there was Tommy, right?
right. Yep.
Yep.
Kenny and Walt? I mean, Walt presented earlier.
Yep.
Um,
Walt was there, Mike Stallings was there, Kenny was there,
Gilbert.
was there, and they were the original founders. I got the emeritus status because I joined them right away when I heard what the concept was. And it was just amazing. So I bought right in with it. And we just had a great time.
Great. Well, then let's talk about the bash. We'll turn it over to Billy Laguerre, who's the president of the Indy Metro Fools. And Billy, you want to talk kind of like the history of the bash? Maybe tell a little bit about your chapter.
So our chapter started in 2002 here in Indianapolis. Sean Grass, a good friend of mine, started the chapter. He's the first president. And for clarification, Bart, for the name Fools, what does it mean? What's the acronym stand for? As I'm often asked.
Okay, Fraternal Order of Leatherhead Society. It kind of started out as a joke with the 5 founders getting together. We all wore leather helmets at the same time, and we all kind of hung around our Central Florida area. And one day, after having a couple of cold pops, somebody came up with the idea, hey, we look like a bunch of fools here. And then we wrote it down on a piece of paper. Well, I think it was a bar napkin then, but wrote it down and wrote out the acronym. And, we kind of, at that time, we all agreed on what our goals or our mission statement was, promoting the tradition of the fire service, promoting training, brotherhood, and all that. It's just kind of blossomed from there.
It's been a great organization to be a part of. A lot of training, a lot of help. We like to the proceeds that we bring in, we give out scholarships and we send a lot of other guys to trainings. We do like to bring trainings to town, but with this event in our backyard, it's hard to do anything bigger than what's already here and try to do another training or add on to something we already have. So we tend to send our guys out. So we'll do scholarships. If somebody comes in, we'll sponsor them, buy their hotel, pay for the training, help with travel, whatever the situation. And, we also give an opportunity. We're charitable. So we do help out with and give proceeds away to, those that might need something in life. But for tonight, the Brotherhood Bash was started, like I said, our chapter started in 2002. The Brotherhood Bash started with these guys. And we've just kept it going over the years. And it gives us an opportunity to bring us all together as a brotherhood, to bring everyone together for something after opening ceremonies, after the first official opening day of FDIC. We all come out and finish up the day strong. We all meet together,
It's morphed over the time period. Because I remember it used to be somewhere else. We're not in this fancy building like we are now.
Started in a parking lot. We moved
Starts in the basement.
from a Hampton basement, moved into a parking lot. We connected with Hooters. We had it behind their building, outgrew that, moved into a parking lot there, had a tent there, outgrew that. We took over Jackson Street. I kind of got to the position where we just needed something bigger. The one year memories, we had a hailstorm come through and Carmel had their brand new tiller out, and they managed to get that tiller parked under the overpass where the train goes through, but I think they still took some dings and lost a little bit of paint maybe on their apparatus, but yes, so we decided we moved somewhere where we found or had the opportunity to move our event indoors, climate control, weather safe, and then no outdoor heaters for those when it's really cold. But we found a really nice place to be able to host this event in the pavilion across the street.
So, and we're starting in about 50 minutes.
Gates open in 50 minutes, the $5 nominal donation at the door. Of course, if you'd like to give more, we gladly accept the donation. It goes to a good cause. So yeah, at 5 o'clock, we'll open the gates. As our guest speakers or those people that want to make an appearance show, we'll eventually bring our pipes and drums in, and we'll have a famous or infamous chief come in and pep up our crowd with Chief Bobby Halton. So he'll be there at some point tonight.
Excellent, excellent. So let's talk about instructors in the Fools. And Captain Dugan, you're an instructor. You've taught for a while. So one of the things as we were starting, I mentioned that there's a lot of Fools that are involved in FDIC and in teaching. We mentioned Walt, one of the founders, presented. You're teaching, Bart's teaching. There's a lot. So can you just talk a little bit about the number of Fools that you know that are on the instructing cadre? And
I don't even know how many, I don't know if I could count that high. Okay, but all of these guys, it's the Fools' mission is training, brotherhood, sisterhood, the traditions of the fire service. And the people who are involved, the instructors, are involved in that. They want to preserve this. They want to get better. They want to prevent line of duty deaths. They want to get better at what we do. So they are instructors. They are out there. They are teachers. They are leaders. Okay. And they're out there working with people doing this. You can look at things like On Scene with Aaron Heller, Mike Champo. You can look at people out by you, out in Washington, people who are doing things, people in California. It's all over. And there are chapters doing great stuff to educate their men and women. And again, a lot of times it's not on the scale of FDIC, but it is on the scale that they can do in their agency, in their backyard. And it's the greatest thing in the world. And it's for the like-minded brothers and sisters, the people who want to be involved in the fire service and leave it better than when they found it. And that's, I think, the mantra of the Fools. And I think that's a great thing.
yeah, and our former president, Richie Stack, was lecturing earlier today. He's doing something about some Chicago thing about hitting it hard from the front yard or something. I don't know. The joke for Richie.
I know.
We were giving him crap about it before. So we have, if you want to talk a little bit about, we have a keynote speaker coming up.
Yeah, so one of the members of the Muddy River Fools, Larry Conley, who's a very superb captain with the St. Louis Fire Department and a real busy engine company, Station 13 out in Hamilton Heights area, St. Louis. They go to work all the time. Larry is going to be the keynote speaker at day 2, opening ceremonies tomorrow. We're very proud that Larry is going to get up and talk on the big stage, and looking forward to getting up and listening to Larry and what he has to say tomorrow morning.
Did he share what his topic is with you guys?
Yeah, he came to our last Muddy River Fools meeting, and we said, Larry, say a few words about what you're going to talk about. He said, I'm going to talk fire stuff. That was pretty much it.
I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. I'm just curious. We'll just go down the favorite FDIC. Is there a favorite year for you, Mike?
You know what? I'm going to say this year, because I'm getting the Lifetime Achievement Award and my wife and kids are coming out to see me honored and recognized. That's amazing. But the other one that I will never forget is 2002,
Yeah.
after 9/11.
Yeah.
Getting together with the brothers and sisters and the stuff that we did there, the men and women, people, the training that we did, memory of our Fools. We lost 5 of our Fool brothers on 9/11.
Yep.
Were killed in the line of duty in the FDNY. And we got together and we celebrated life. And there's a great old story from the FDIC West with Tommy Brennan, where we did 2 days of training, and then we had to stick around to do a 3rd day of training, but it was 3 days later. It was 2 days of training, 3 days of lecture, and then 1 more day of training. I don't know who came up with that idea, but it wasn't very smart to leave a bunch of firemen, and they had a beer and pizza party for us at the pool of the hotel in Sacramento.
Yeah.
And we came back from teaching hands-on. We were dirty, we were dusty, we were Oh, my goodness. And the next day, the pool and the hot tub had to be drained and cleaned.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of fun, but Tommy Brennan, it's one of my favorite lines of all time. I won't tell you who, but somebody who is now a chief of a major metropolitan department was pushing me on a bus cart, and I was surfing into the pool on a bus cart. In my clothes still, because I went jumping into the hot tub to try to drown somebody in my clothes. And somebody said to Tommy Brennan, look at these firemen being idiots. And he said, that's not firemen being idiots. That's men celebrating being alive.
Yep.
And the greatest line ever.
Yeah, I think I've heard that story before coming out of Tommy Brennan.
Yep.
Now, some of you probably don't even realize, but there was an FDIC West and an FDIC East. I think it was in Jersey, was it not?
It was in
FDIC
Atlantic City.
in Atlantic City, yeah. So there's that goes back several years, but yeah, the FDIC West. What about you, Bart? You're
Trying to remember, did they all kind of run together
Yeah.
anymore? Like I said, since it was in India or Cincinnati, it helped move it here and everything else. And I don't know, we took out, there's a long story about a bus ride that came out of Florida one year. We all decided we were going to take a bus, and I believe that was 2002.
It was 2002.
2002, and we left. Well, we made it as far as Ocala, Florida, by the E1 plant. The bus caught on fire, and then there was, while we were waiting for the second bus, there just happened to be an adult entertainment establishment there. So half of the guys were there, and like 15 hours later on the bus, we pulled in and rolled in front of the Hampton, and we kind of did that on the honor and memory of the our FDNY brothers that we had lost. And you know, I still remember, I don't know, memories or nightmares on the bus, but it was the longest bus ride I've ever taken. And somebody said a couple years later, well, let's take a bus. And I'm like, no, we're never getting on a bus again. You know? So,
Billy, what you?
Well, see, I started in fire service in 2002, and I think the following year, 2003, is my first year to come to FDIC.
Yeah.
And I was still young in the fire service and didn't realize what I have in my backyard until I got here to see what this place is really about.
Yeah.
19 years later, we're sitting here talking about it. And
Yeah.
it's, this event is just, for me, it's fortunate for me. I'm here, and this is every day for me. So it's something I get to see yearly, and we look forward to this. We look forward to this event, look forward to coming and seeing our friends all come
Yeah.
to town and fellowship and have the brotherhood and, you know, hang out with and catch up with the things that we've missed over the last year. So.
Yeah, I think one of the things that people just don't realize, if you've never been to FDIC, you don't realize the magnitude, how big it is. And it may be a little bit smaller this year, you know, as a result of COVID and it being at a different time, but you know, it is so huge. It is the biggest, I think, and maybe Mike or somebody can, but it's the biggest show in the world when it comes to
Number one.
Number
from
one.
What I was just told recently, as of yesterday morning, summer school, and summer schools where all the bad kids end up, but 20,600 people
Oh.
registered at FDIC so far this year. That was yesterday morning's numbers from what I was told just a couple of minutes ago. So, I mean, just think about it. For those of you who've never been here, 20,000 like-minded individuals getting together to share what works and what doesn't and learn from each other. It's an amazing thing.
yeah, absolutely. Bob? you're-
2008 was my first year here. So that'll be probably mine. Pretty new in the fire service in Montgomery County. Had a good opportunity to come out here, and so I'm gonna go with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Dabowski, you've
I
been
love-
around for a while.
Dude, I love sharing this story. About 1995, and that was the first year it was ever here at Indianapolis. And on a whim, a buddy of mine invited me up here from St. Louis. He said, hey, our rig's going to be on display. I was on a 4-day. We took a road trip, and I've been back ever since. But the reason I've been back ever since is, I mean, there's a lot of cool fire trucks and hose and ladders and all that, but it's the people. And that first year ever at FDIC back in 95, we were up at the Firefighters Hall up on Mass Avenue. And we met two old characters from the IFD, Tommy Arthur and Jerry Montgomery. And these guys were old salts. And we sat there with them two old cats all night long and listened to their stories of practical jokes on the IFD. And then we went drinking with them afterwards, and we shut down a couple local bars. And looking back to 1995, those guys are the reason that I'm here in 2021.
That's
So
awesome.
1995, that was the year that did it for me.
That's awesome. I think mine is has to be 1998. I got promoted in 97, and coming from the West Coast, you know, we don't have stuff like this really out on the West Coast, and I don't even know what it was that got me to come out here, but I ended up coming out with a buddy, and I was just blown away at the size, you know. And then you go out on the floor, and there's so much apparatus, and this whole area has gotten bigger. I mean, they put the stadium behind the convention center a number of years back, and then they fill that with apparatus. So the convention center is full. The hallways in the convention center are full with stuff to geek out on and to buy, and you're just going, holy cow. And then probably the biggest thing is the first year I didn't do hot. The second year I did. And then you have all the greats, all the legends, you know, the people that you are reading their textbooks, and you're going, I'm going to be in a forcible entry class with this guy. I'm going to be in class with, you know, Champo. I remember taking Champo's class, his truck class, and going, holy cow, this is just incredible, being able to spend time with some of the best in the business. And so that'd probably be my favorite one.
I gotta tell you, because I just found a picture and I've gotta see it in an old PowerPoint of you and me at FDIC West
Oh, get out.
doing ladders with a 35-foot ladder. And I'm like, that's Robbie Fisher.
That
Oh,
little guy can throw a 35.
That was, and I'm looking and I'm like, holy mackerel. I said, I gotta find that picture somewhere.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Is that at was that Champa's class? So you were
Yep.
teaching with Champa?
Yep,
on that?
yep.
That was great. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
I went to FDIC East. I went to FDIC West. Has it been in California twice? Was it in LA once and
No.
Sacramento once?
No, it was in Sacramento twice.
Twice. Okay.
Twice, I think, maybe even 3 times. I'm not sure on FDIC West, might have been 3 times. Yeah.
Those good memories. So
Good memory.
let's get to the big thing, Lifetime Achievement Award. So I don't know how to describe it, but this is a big deal. You know, there's some big names that sit on the Lifetime Achievement Award. Tommy Brennan is on there. Brunacini is on there.
Mike Dugan's gonna be on.
Mike
there.
Dugan's gonna be on
Yeah,
there.
Somebody made a mistake.
Yeah.
I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out.
Well, I love the fact that in Bobby's talk today, he brought up and he was telling that story, you know, the roofman's up there and trying to figure out how he's going to do this whole thing. And I'm like, oh, how's Bobby going to tie this in? I mean, he just talked about war. He just talked about this. And now he's got this story. And then a story about little Mikey Dugan. I don't know if it was ever little Mikey Dugan. But
No. Highly unlikely.
My 6th grade picture, you can't see the top of my head. The nearest kid is up to my shoulder. So no.
well, how about before we get into Lifetime, how about that incident? I mean, you know, the story he's talking about?
Yeah,
And-
well, I know the story.
I hope.
But it's a very funny story in my estimation, because I was working straight tours, December 23rd. It was right before Christmas, and I was working a straight tour. And back at that time, the New York City Fire Department had some issues going on with contracts and everything, and the officers were working one schedule, the firemen working another schedule, and we weren't matching up or anything else. And somebody screwed up the manpower. And at that time, there were 24 spots, and there were 6 per tour that came in. It was a 24 group chart. And I was working a straight tour, and I was driving someplace else in Manhattan, because we had 24 spots and 30 men on the roster. So guys were going out all the time. So I went out and went to another place and drove for the day. And I came back and I pulled onto the street in front of the firehouse, and I was getting my gear, and somebody said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm just coming back. I was driving today in another company down the road." And I said, "I'm just coming back to drop my gear off, and I'm going home." And they said, did you work last night? I said, no, I just worked today. I just did a straight tour. And they said, are you available? I said, what do you mean? Oh, we screwed up the manpower. And I said, yeah, it's 2 days before Christmas, a night tour of overtime? Damn straight, I'll take that. Pay for the Christmas presents for the kids. You know, I'll take that. Sure. And they said, okay. So the company I was in had a policy that they went by seniority for riding positions. So the senior man got the first choice, and then it went down. Well, turned out that night I was going to be the senior man. And they said, well, we already wrote the riding list because we thought he was coming from somewhere else. And you got the roof. Now, if I had been there at the start of the tour, I would have probably had the irons of the OV. And they said, I hope you don't mind, but, and I said, no, I'm on overtime. You know, overtime makes everything a little softer. And so they said, oh, and by the way, you're the cook. Because nobody else can cook. And I'm like, oh, son of a gun. All right, let me call home. I gotta call my wife to tell her I'm not coming home and that I'm working overtime. And let's get on the rig and go out and find what we can at the store for a meal, because I gotta go pick up the meal. So we get on the rig, we're just about to go out to the store, and the run comes in, right around the corner, a place called, we used to call it Little Mexico. Okay, it was just a Hispanic area of Mexican immigrants. And we went there, and I had the roof, and I went up to the adjoining building, and I look over the rear of the building, and this guy standing outside of the window. He was in the bathroom. His roommate left and left the front door open to the apartment. So the smoke is coming in there. He was in the bathroom taking a shower, was just toweled off, got dressed, and opened up the door and was hit with a wave of smoke and went out the window. And he's standing there. And I'm like, oh, okay.
What floor is this?
He's on the 5th floor. So fire's blowing up below us and everything else. And I got to go down and get this guy. And as I get down there, the guy jumps at me. So I got to catch him. And he's about 160 pounds. I was a little younger. I was a little lighter back then. And I was a little stronger probably. And I caught this guy and we went down, and in the rear, it was really an extra story because it had the basement level. So it was really in the back, it was a 7-story building. In the front, it was 6 stories. But the thing that I tell everybody, and I'll put it into the story, is it was a fatal fire. And the guys at 43 Truck did an amazing job. But it started on a Christmas tree. And the guy who lived in the apartment and his wife had 2 kids. And the guy made a push that would make any fireman proud to try to get to his kids, and was burnt horrifically. And I made the roof rope rescue, and they got me off the rope, and they said, come on, you got to go out front. My back was killing me. And they said, you got to go into the ambulance. And I start walking into the ambulance, and I see them come out with this father, and his hands are burnt and his skin falling off his face. And I look at me and I look at him, and I get out of the ambulance and I look at the medic and I say, take care of him. I'll sit on the curb. I'll be okay. And he goes, no, you get priority. I said, take care of him. Yeah. And the medic says, okay. And they call for another bus, and I finally get in another bus, and the medic in the other bus is going to try to take a blood gas. And any of you brothers and sisters who've ever had a blood gas done after a fire, when they put the needle in the back of your hand, the medic looks at me and says, relax. And I am relaxed. He says, we'll do this later. Okay, good idea. But the thing is, that poor guy lost 2 children that day,
Oh.
2 days before Christmas. I can't imagine that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that. And it affected every guy that I worked with who was on that run. And, you know, you talk about PTSD and you talk about all those other things and needing help and everything else. The guys on my crew had to carry those 2 little babies out of that apartment. And, you know, always keep an eye on your brothers and sisters. You know, you do your job, but this stuff, it does leave marks. It does leave scars. And make sure you're paying attention to one another.
Yeah, that would definitely leave a mark,
Oh, yeah.
have a major impact.
Yep.
And you've got FDNY gave you a medal for.
Yes. They gave me a couple of medals for that, right? They gave me 2 big ones and a 3rd smaller one. They gave me the James Gordon Bennett, which is the annual highest medal awarded in the FDNY. And then every 3 years, the best Bennett gets the Harry M. Archer Medal. And they gave that to me. And they
Wow.
also give you, when you get the Bennett, you get the New York State Honorary Fire Chiefs. And I also got at the time, the Daily News Hero of the Month, which was a cruise to Bermuda for me and my wife.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So
What
that
year
was
was that? What was your?
Did I get the hero? Because it took a couple of years to get
Oh,
it,
gotcha.
but I ended up going on a cruise with my wife in 1994.
Yeah. Well, let's tell us just your emotions or your feelings on the Lifetime Achievement Award.
I'm humbled. I think somebody made a mistake, but I just hope that every young man and woman in the fire service realizes you can make an impact. I'm just a dumb kid from New York, and I'm lucky that the people out there listening and the people out there paid attention and listened to what I had to say. But very honestly, you can make an impact, as the Fools have, as hopefully I have, as every one of these people sitting up here has, with their teaching in their communities, teaching nationwide and everything else. And I think you've got to understand that you have a voice, but you have to be willing and courageous enough to use that voice.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, it's an honor to be a part of this great organization and to be affiliated with you. And I've had the chance, I actually, I mean, as the training trustee education chair now, followed in your footsteps. Those are big shoes to get into, literally.
They're only 13. They're only 13.
But it has been, it's been an honor, and it's great to be a part, like I said, be a part of the organization. I know I can speak for everybody on the e-board, and to see you receive such an honor, that's awesome. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, we'll be wrapping some things up. Just let's talk about Thursday real quick, Billy. We got a Fools event.
All right, so we have another Fools event on Thursday night, tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow night. We're gonna start around 6 o'clock. We're gonna have drinks, which is the adult beverage style. Pizza provided, so we already have that taken care of. But this goes back to our days at the Hampton, our days in the basement. We brought this back probably 4 years ago, I think. And we started in the basement again. We realized that the basement's just not quite as big as it was, it wasn't big enough then. So we tried it again, and we've since moved to the upstairs second floor of the Hampton. But we invite all Fools members to come up. Admission is your chapter challenge coin. That's all we ask. We all hang out, talk fire, talk the job, talk shop, and enjoy the evening. So it's if you're a Fools member, if you're not a Fools member, come see us tonight. Look one of us up. We'll figure out a way to get you involved, get you to be part of a chapter, our chapter, or something. We'll get you started down the right way, the right path. For
Now, somebody's going to complain about the chapter coin.
Yes.
I mean, we've already had a complaint on Facebook.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
So
So it's like, well, I don't have a chapter coin. So we'll work it out. We usually know most of the members, so
yeah,
we'll
so
work out. If you don't have your chapter coin,
yeah, if you don't have a
we'll
chapter
figure it
coin,
out.
we'll give a good, if you have a good enough explanation, maybe we'll make it
Sell
work.
us on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
sell us on
But
it.
if you don't have a coin, you're gonna have to buy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get one provided.
All right.
Provided.
That's awesome. So I'll just final thoughts, closing remarks there, Cap.
The Fools, the fire service, get involved.
Love it. Bart.
To just carry on the pride, honor, and tradition of what the Fools stands for, training and what we do here at FDIC, and let's have a good rest of the week.
Awesome. Okay. Billy.
This organization isn't really something that we go out and look for new members. We like for people to come to us and say, hey, we want to be part of something. We like what you do. We want to be part of this. And tonight's a chance. Come out and we're all there. So talk to us, see what we're doing, see where we're going with this, and see if it's something you'd be part of.
Excellent.
Just good opportunity. We kind of look forward to it. We missed it last year with the COVID. So it is, and Bobby and the number of the speakers talked about this morning. It's a good opportunity to get everybody back together again. It's been a long time since seeing a lot of the faces and stuff like that. It's just good to be back and hanging out with like-minded people,
Okay. Duba.
18 months of COVID. My wife will concur that probably the thing that affected me the most was not being able to get to FDIC last year. I've never missed a year. It was a tough not being able to come, but boy, it sure is good to be back and seeing everybody. So get to FDIC, get involved with the Fools, and make a difference in the fire service.
Yeah, I will just say that to kind of echo what everybody else has talked about, it's a great organization. There's a lot of networking with the Fools. I know we sometimes get this reputation of we're just a drinking men's group, and then we're not. There's plenty of women in the Fools. We're not just drinking. Some of us even don't even drink anymore and are part of the Fools. But it's a lot about networking, having the ideals in the fire service and tradition of the fire service. So it is a great organization. You can look us up, foolsinternational.com, all the social media outlets. Yeah, so it's been great to be here this week. I look forward to the rest of the week. And I would just say, don't have to always be safe out there because our profession is risky. And no matter if we're doing fire or EMS, there's a level of risk to our profession, but just be smart out there. And yeah, it's good to be with you guys. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.